What's up, guys? Marcus here, straight out of Germany. Um, Today, a little bit of a different video. What I want to talk about today is essentially the one thing you need to get a competitive advantage when it comes to running paid ads that a lot of people don't really talk about, right? And most people actually don't do. I'm just going to walk you through the process of how I do that, how I help my own brand scale, obviously, and also how I help other brands scale by implementing exactly that. So make sure to stick around until the end because, I'll give away all of the juice when it comes to essentially starting out with paid ads, but also actually more like when you already have something that is running, to scale it up to 1 million. Because one thing that is important is that you essentially have to unlearn a bunch of stuff that maybe brought you to 100K with a lot of effort, right? With a lot of grind, with a lot of pain, with going through a couple of agencies and stuff like that. So you cannot just continue doing what you do to get to another level, right? You need to basically eliminate 80% of what you do and replace these 80% with the 80% that are needed in order to get to the next level. So what's the one thing that I mean what's the one thing that I think if you don't really do it, you're just missing out big time? It's essentially research, right? And it's just acquiring as much information as possible to just get a more efficient start, right? So, and this starts with obviously something that I talk about a lot, which is just researching the right angles, really understanding your product, right? And essentially going out and understanding, okay, what are potential angles that, like, how could I position my product, right? What are potential positionings, and then doubling down on your winning positioning. Okay, so this is one thing. I talk about this in a bunch of videos. Today I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about creatives, right? And this is something that I've learned over the years, that a lot of brands, they try to come up with original concepts and original ideas, and they're so focused on like brand awareness and stuff like that, and that it has to be on brand. But I'm telling you, this is like a sure way to just burn so much money when it comes to paid ads. And it doesn't stop there. It's not just the money. I always talk about this. It's not just the money, but it's actually also the time, the time, the resources, the stress, essentially, that you have with not having figured stuff out, right? And this can really be an issue, and this can drive you nuts, right? Because to some extent, at least in these initial stages, your business growth is directly tied to how well you do on paid ads for a lot of brands. And this can be super stressful, right? So what do you do? So when it comes to creatives, what I do is essentially funnel hacking, right? And really understanding, like, what are the creative concepts that work for competitors? What are the creative concepts that work for, brands that target the same target audience, right? The same customer that I want to acquire. What are the concepts that they run, right? So there's a couple of options. I think I already showed it in some of the videos. Atria, right? Atria is a great tool to do that, to basically look at different libraries. It's kind of like the ads libraries on steroids. Like, you can also use the ads library, of course, but what I like to do is to go on Atria and essentially follow all of the brands that are relevant to my niche product and angle, right? Then what I like to do is just look at, okay, what are the different ad creatives that they're running, or what are the different concepts, right? What are concepts, and this is the important point, that are designed to be top of funnel, right? And you don't want to just copy it word by word, right? Obviously, because that, in many cases just doesn't work. But what I want to know is, what's the stuff that is working? How can I come up with my own version of that, right? So essentially stealing the template and filling it with my own, story, with my own product, and making it mine. Because what I don't want to do when I run paid ads is essentially like testing everything from A to Z, right? Because this is one option, but it's the most inefficient option out there, right? Which actually makes you pay to get all the learnings, right? And you do all the mistakes. So it's better and more efficient to look at, brands that are crushing it on paid ads and trying to understand and reverse engineer what's their strategy, what is their creative stack looking like, right? And to basically model that while obviously doing it for your specific angle, for your specific product, right? So another thing that I like to do is that I like to use something called AdSpy, right? So maybe some of you are familiar with that. AdSpy, incredible software, right? So what you do is essentially, what you can do is you can search for certain brands, right? Or for certain keywords, for example, I don't know, hair loss, for example, or you type in a specific brand, and you can see what are the ads with the most likes, right? You can basically sort them by likes. And this gives you an idea of what are, let's say, really top of funnel, highly engaging ads for a specific brand. And, when you have this information, I'm 100% sure you will do different ads. And you essentially can have a look at inside of the ad account of brands that are running like, I don't know, pushing like $500K to $1 million in budget or even more per month. And you can understand what's working for them. So you can basically jump ahead and jump over hundreds, thousands of tests, of creative tests, of failed creative tests that cost them hundreds of thousands, if not millions, to arrive at the point where they identified what creative type is working, right? So why not just start there? So I think that's really a big one to model success. And so this is the one thing that I think a lot of people are just missing out on. And then, things get hard. It doesn't mean that you just copy one creative and all of a sudden, everything is resolved. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about modeling success. So same way, Kobe Bryant modeled the success of Michael Jordan by studying him, by imitating his game, by actually trying to, do the same moves as Michael Jordan did. He developed, by mastering his moves, like mastering Michael Jordan's moves, he eventually created his own moves, right? So this is really something that is important. All the great artists, all the great sports, legends, they all modeled success, right? They did not, just start out and say, I want to do my own stuff. I want to do my own stuff, right? They were humble enough, no matter how ego-driven they were and what their motives were, they were humble enough to understand that there were people before me that already had success or are having success. What are they doing? And how can I essentially model what they do, right? So, this is one thing that I wanted to share with you because I think this will just, I don't believe in real shortcuts, honestly, but I think this is something that will really, really help you not start from scratch. And even if you're at 100K per month, right, or 200K per month, and you just cannot crack the 1 million per month, most likely this is what is missing, right? It's missing that you have a clear understanding of what's currently working for the biggest brands out there, and coming up with your own version of that, right? Because as soon as you implement this, as soon as you take these learnings and actually put them into action, that's where you get basically completely new creativity into your ad account. And this is what Facebook likes. This is what will help you to also understand what's working for you specifically. And take this with you. Think about, and don't think about it, actually just implement it, right? We can talk all day. We can talk all day about these things and these hacks or whatever the case may be. But ultimately it's about just taking this, like you're watching this video now. You heard what I said, and I told you the tools, Atria, AdSpy. So just go out there, look at your competitors, and like pay these like $300 a month or whatever the case may be for these tools, and just get the information, right? So sometimes I hear people saying, "Oh, well, it's so expensive." Is it really that expensive? Like if you compare it to you already spending like 20-30 grand a month on ads, you would be spending $300 a month to just get the information and understand what's working, then find creatives that are working better, and ultimately save a lot of ad spend on creatives that are not working, which you're doing right now, right? So it's really about understanding what to invest in, and information is really the thing, right? Once you understand that, it's not so hard, right? The hard part comes with implementing stuff on a consistent basis, generating creative ads or creative ideas on a consistent basis, having a team behind that to basically have like a machine that is pushing in new creatives every single week and knows exactly what to do, where to get the information, where to get the creative ideas. But exactly, it all starts with, where do I get this, right? Where do I start? And that's, I think, a very good starting point after you've validated, okay, this is the niche, this is the, let's say, the angle for my product that works really well. This is what, where my product actually can help people. Then this is another thing that you need, right? So let me know if I should do like a more in-depth breakdown of how I do that. I'm actually thinking about, like, some people asked me already, some of you guys already asked me in the comments, thinking about doing like a long form, like, 1 hour video or maybe 2 hour video, breaking down like how would I do, strategic, or let's say the strategy, the validation, the angle validation, the research, the creative research, and then also the script writing for any given brand. Let me know if that's interesting in the comments, so I'll consider that. But if you want like more guidance on this topic and you just need someone that has been there, done that, is doing multiple millions with his e-commerce, is helping other e-commerce brand owners to do the same. I've had multiple brands now go to over $1 million a month, from 50K, 100K, less than 50K actually, 100K per month. So if you want that, if you want guidance on that, click the first link in the description, and just check out how I work with brands and who I actually work with. I don't work with anybody. There has to really be a fit. As you know, on YouTube I share a bunch of stuff, but that's just where I can guide you a little bit more, a lot more actually, because we're working one-on-one, so it's literally with me directly. If that's interesting to you, just click the first link and book a call. We see if there's a fit. If not, very worst case is that I walk you through the whole strategy, how it looks like applied to your specific case. So you basically go away with the best strategy session for free that you could get online. At least that's what I'm constantly hearing from people that attend these calls. and then and then you have the full strategy. You can implement it by yourself, right? So there's literally nothing that you can lose. And looking forward to connect. See you in the next one. Thank you for watching, and I'll enjoy the sunset here a little bit, walk, have some thoughts, and maybe get some new creative inspiration. All right, take care. Bye bye.